the knife round, in fact. I believe.
Yeah, it is actually. They're going to be stabbing each other, aren't they? Having a little bit of a... Look, they're grouping up by party. Obviously,
Oh, that camera work is feisty.
Boaster. More like stabbed ya. It's quite funny when you do this. It's like the little laser beam. So
Sound a really quick attack with the laser beams, of course. Chasing each other around. Trying to get line of sight.
Yep. It's like they're playing Quake and they've all got just like lightning gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Try and keep your crosshair on him, boys. Oh! Oh, Smooth's
he's whipped out
defaulted
the
the knife
pistol.
rounds.
Smooth,
There
yep.
you go.
Not like this.
That's an old strategy there. Obviously, you think you're going to lose the knife rounds. You just kill everyone with a pistol, and then people go, oh. And then, obviously, you just get the knife round anyway. So Imperial do pick up the knife, work our way through. They're going to decide which side they want to start on. Sides. We have a 7-sided dice.
Yep. That makes total sense. I think Imperial will be pretty comfortable on their CT side. You're right.
What was that, bud? Was it just a chicken in the studio? just looked up at you and just like,
It was
he's done. He's dead. Man down.
Wow, that is quite the entertainment production at it again. Wonderful. It's a pistol round. It's Keita. He's spamming away. He gets a double kill.
Long push came out. Didn't really go too well though. Obviously, Boaster and Connor are going to be killed. Fish123 have 5 men left standing as they make this push up towards A. This is pretty good. Let's see what more they can actually bring to the table though. Zelen, the super sub, will he be able to live up to that name? Jacob is close by to try and aid him as well, but they've actually backed off. They're not going to fully commit to the A play. They did over-rotate their players over as well, but Reason will spot out. Smooth, unfortunately, gets the information, but no frag going his way, which means that B-bomb site is going to be locked down. Roma should have been picked off there as well, but actually overpowers Jacob now. Zelen left in a 1 versus 5, but Smooth has had enough of his shenanigans, takes him down. Fish123, an opening pistol round on the board. Great way to kick things off for him. Instant buy-up with the rifles as well.
Yeah, starting off on the right foot, of course, getting themselves the picks they needed. Double kill coming in from Smooya. Starting to set up the plate. Keita as well, double for him. And Uno really is just kind of replenishing the idea of confidence for them. Round. Please don't spill your water everywhere. God damn it, Jackie. Trying to be serious here. Trying to put on a show. And you're just there spilling water. I love it. Second round of the ball for Fish123. They will start off strong with these rifles, of course. They are just going to plow into this B site as Mole will find himself one. Jenko going to go for a little bit more. Roma so hungry to get in on the action as Boaster will chime in. Just the one with the pistol. Bit of a tidbit of damage here and there. But Mole cleaning house as he gets himself a crafty little triple kill. They get a whole lot of money with that SMG. $5,350 now for him to play with.
There wasn't actually any spillage, to clarify. There was none. It's just...
You know, Jake's like running in full panic.
I know. I just fumbled, but recovered. I poised myself. I was able to come back from that. Unfortunately, though, Imperial haven't been able to do the same themselves. They're struggling right now. They need a 1 sheet to wipe up the mess that they have made. Let's see what can actually go on there. Aggression towards the bomb site. Obviously, you've got a favour. Fish123 here. Easy stuff should come out. They do get the opening prize going their way. MP7 reigns supreme over Poster as well. Smooth just try and get the late round stragglers. 2K. And there's the final one from Jenko. 3 rounds locked down now. Obviously, this is where things start to get serious. Imperial can get the buy out. But let's see what they're going to go for. Obviously, the AWP actually passed over on towards Jacob. Jacob will actually kind of be the primary AWPer, I think, throughout this. Because obviously they don't have Windansky or Crucial in the lineup. Azelian, I imagine, most of the time will just be going for a rifle. So yeah, Jacob probably actually going to be just the sort of primary AWP that we're going to see coming out.
It's vintage Jacob, though. You used to see him do this quite a while back, and we haven't really seen it much since then. So it'd be interesting to see him kind of return to his roots, explore a few options, and see if he really can find a few caveats of attack. As he does spot out a player, but actually gets a second peek on towards Keita, and that's beneficial because he can fall back. It's not tradable, but he goes in for more and he gets away with it. Jacob on a tear right now as he gets himself a double kill. Repeats back towards Long, aware that that is the next avenue for this T-side to try and push towards us. He's got so much repeat potential here to do even more. Will miss the shot, but goes for the repeat, lands the headshot on towards Roma, and then goes back towards Long, worried about Mole. Gets that shot as well. Jacob, are you kidding me? Eventually Smooya will take him down. Leaving him on 1 versus 3 though. It's going to be so tough for this guy to make it work. Zelen right through the smoke with the M4A4 Imperial. They get around all off the back of 1 man and 1 AWP.
Alright, Anders, chill out. Let's see how this one will go, though, as they work their way through. Obviously going to pick that up. Good stuff on the board. They need that first round as well, because Fish obviously off the back of the pistol, looking hot, heavy-handed. Obviously, they can get the buyout once again as well, so they have those rifles to play with. A strong arsenal. Can Imperial keep it going, though? Scary factor is, Imperial in the past, we've seen them actually being able to get rounds on the board, then they shudder. They don't really link things up. They always have these issues of internally linking rounds together, and that's even with their full lineup in play. With Zelen here today as well, you've got to wonder how he's actually going to fit into the mix and how that will affect things overall. But they need to try and lock this down. If we can see that same sort of stuff coming out from Jacob, there's definitely a lot of potential to try and lock it through. But Smooya back on the AWP as well, that is where a lot of the damage is going to originate from on the side of Fish, especially on the entry towards the B-bomb site here. Is right now they are just playing far back towards A, so they have time to back off through connector if they want to go to B to the late round. But just waiting it out right now.
Yeah, a lot of patience being employed yet again. Fish123 don't want to allow Imperial to build up towards their second, but Jacob doing the work yet again, takes down Roma. Connor steals away that second frag as he does chime in. We'll just continue your famous. Jenko towards B tries to create a bit of a stir, but in fact he falls short. It's just a bit of a fall. In fact, as it's trip on over, that's going to be his life left, completely meaningless as Fish123. And left with just two players now, Smooya and Mole, an AWP and a rifle. Both pretty damn solid weapons. But neither of these players are making anything happen at all, as Connor just slides in again with the Famous doing even more work as he then peeks that one towards Mole. Mole's push, he knows he's got to go aggressive to find that pick. But the job there of Connor was just to waste time. There's 30 seconds left now for Mole in a 1 versus 3. He's 2 HP. Jackie, you're a man of hope, but surely there's no hope left in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, like, best case scenario if he can back off and actually save, but the thing is as well, if he saves that, even going through, actually now he's got an AWP, it makes sense to try and save it, right? But it's still so risky, because they have time to try and push if they want. Actually, they can't really get to him. Like, he's fine, he can save this. Yeah, but like, he's not going to get any cash bonus from this. Obviously, he goes through with just the money he has in his back pocket for this, right? But you go through, at least he has the AWP, which he can drop over to Smooya once again into the following round, or he can keep it himself if he wants to. Mole has occasionally picked it up from time to time. Obviously, he has the 5.3k, so the buy can come back in. Yeah, drop that over to Smooya, get the AK out. Actually, is he sticking with it? No. Okay, cool. So the buy goes through... Wait. Oh, actually, he is sticking with the AWP. Okay, yeah. So it's not that surprising, but I just thought we would have seen Smooya actually done it. Obviously, Smooya so far hasn't done too much with it. We're going to see a couple of occasions he's had the weapon in his hand. Fast aggression goes through. Smooya off the back of spawns here as well. He's going for the quick play towards connector. Mole just holding for the push to come through from Imperial. Isn't going to go that way. But it looks like it's back to Fish123's slower split and pick style of play.
Flash grenade will create space on this entry for Fish123 as the red carpet is going to be laid down, allowing them to really kind of walk forward out in towards the toilet section if they so choose. Is Jacob the only really man to identify there at all? It's just 3 peeks for Smooya right now with the rifle, who, on the topic of Smooya, he's performed better with the rifle than he has with the AWP. In one map we saw him step up. Aside from that, he's been much more consistent with this AK. So I don't mind him not AWPing in fairness. If he's not playing that aggressive style, stick with the rifle. That's what I say, as it is going to be right now a man advantage off the back of Smooya and his rifle prowess. But Fish123 don't want to go for a clear-cut A push. They actually are going to be going for a bit more of a cookie-cutter style over on towards this B site. It's different, but something they can make work.
Start to push their way through. Boaster will rattle down, finds the opening frag on towards Jenko though, but Roma fires back. 2 easy frags coming through. Zelen with a headshot back there on towards Smooya now as they take them down. There's Connor for the follow-up as well. Leaves them in this 2 versus 2 situation. Winnable for Fish123. As they push their web, they still need to get that bomb planted. They still have 25 seconds left on the clock though, so they don't have to rush just yet. But they need to start getting a bit of a move on. They are trying to take the fight before they do anything actually. It seems like they're going to go for the double peek over towards the A site. See if they can pick their way through. Nothing is going to be there. Short face from Connor was too much to handle as well. Now the round is going to be over. Both of the angles being covered by Connor and Zelen. Easy for them to find that frag in the end. They are going to fall down. Fish123 unfortunately do not get that round. Imperial will be able to secure that 3-3 scoreline. And the cash they had to play with on the side of Fish as well is burnt off the back of that. So now it's more of just, do we invest for the Tech 9 aggressive play, which seems like they are going to go for. But that's really their only option.
Being stuck with no options is so tough. And even the idea of no options and added to be a bit more of a limitless style, that lack of flex, it really is just so tough. Charging 2 various different options through the fire and the flames or through the smoke, neither of which hold any sort of positive bearing at all, as already it's just so much damage peppered away at the entirety of Fish. Sort of circle around in the ocean, but this is just open water shooting from Imperial right now as Boaster to do the work. Zelen as well combining to steal away that double kill. The Tech 9 of Mole trying so hard, but failing so miserably. Unfortunately, it is so tough for him, in fairness, to make it work at that sort of range with a Tech 9. Even in general with pistols, you couldn't really expect too much from Fish there. Imperial, however, building up bit by bit, layer by layer. They get themselves more and more rounds. And that's something we have to look so dearly for as this match begins to unfold. Our 8th round, of course, now. Looking towards the AWP of Jacob and Smooya, who's returned.
Yeah, they were back on Smooya. Potential for him to actually cause a bit of a kerfuffle into this one. This is where he needs to try and get back on the horse, so start doing work. I mean, towards the A bomb site, they found success into the previous rounds, but they've kind of been slowing down there. Constant hits towards B, which they can get into, but they just can't lock it down. It seems like when they get to that final hurdle, they're starting to fall over and actually trip, and it's unreminiscent of what we, expect to see coming out from Fish123 in those sort of scenarios. Obviously, right now on their T side, though, still got potential. A lot of the rounds they have actually lost off the back of a couple of rounds here and there when people actually did overpower them on their full buys. Then it's just been economy in play rather than anything. Peak's coming through though. Connor is looking on point right now. 2K goes his way. Zelen with one headshot on towards Keeper as well. Sure, the trade starts coming a little bit, but they are still weaker on the side of Fish123. Smooya is so low as well. Only 2 men left standing for them as well, so they can't really play that effectively together. It's going to be kind of hard as this duo tries to make their approach towards the B-bomb site.
Jacob going to be the man to lead the charge. Smooya still trying to support with his AWP, but it's not quite a shotgun. This isn't just another CQB battle for him. Instead, they dart over towards Monster. Arguably a better angle for Smooya to try and make it work, because it is going to be a peak to come on in. Jenko still supporting, but nothing is happening. Reason and Jenko, he's dead set to combine as the bomb is going to find its way down. But there's Jacob, a boost from him and a frag to follow. Not quite Reason, but Jacob filling those boats nice and easy. This is just another angle to be fought. Smooya holding so tight. A 1 versus 3 is always going to be, some would say, just a flat-out impossible predicament, but this is Smooya talking about clutch potential. But the Smooya today has been missing a lot of these shots and misses again, allowing Imperial to get this round.
Yeah, he does look kind of off today. I mean, it's been a very flip-floppy sort of performance for him, where occasionally we've seen him actually play into a very good standard where we know he does sort of sit at normally. And other times he's just been missing kind of more simpler shots that you expect him to hit. So, weird. His rifle has actually looked on point all day, though. He hasn't really been missing shots with his AK. It's just been when he goes back to his AWP, which is his home ground. He is, a very talented, aggressive, fast-paced AWPer, but it just doesn't seem to be working out for him today. Aggression coming through, though, talking about that, is going to be Jacob to actually take the peek down in towards Connector. Unfortunately, he won't spot out anything just yet. Smooya just holds back. If Smooya overpowers him here, though, it could be scary, because he will get an AWP back in his hands. Jacob
waiting so patiently, the shots come off, and Smooya does do just that. The rifle working out for him. Connor, though, towards long will start to skew the trades, finds one, goes in for a second. Well, too close for comfort. Roma will come out on top of that situation, taking charge of Fish123 now as they begin to rally the comms, get the troops rolling. As this should be a round they can well and truly contest for. Right now, they hold the advantage, and it's important for them not to give it away. They are going to be set up towards long yet again. Zelen trying to counteract that by going ever so aggressive, but without any support here. He's out on a limb. They line up for him. But Roma is just going to tap him away, brushing him aside almost. As now in this 4 versus 2, Imperial are looking rough.
Reason waiting for the right moment to strike here. Contemplating whether he wanted to go for the left hand peek over. Jenko actually takes the approach around to the right-hand side. Does spook him back off, so he is allowed to wait out for a few seconds now as he just holds over by truck, waiting for his teammates to arrive on the scene. They've taken that long control. They are close by. 35 seconds left to play with, so the rotate will come over from Boaster as well, which is going to be the backstab, it seems. But Boaster actually miles out of position. He was rotating slowly, but it seems now he has actually just committed to the full save. There's obviously no point trying to run the risk. If it was a 2 versus 4 in that scenario, possible if he actually got the opening frag. But didn't go that way, just save it.
Yeah, there's value in saving it as well, right? It just helps kind of make sure that economy is going to be restored over and over again, so they don't spend too much. As for now, this match looking pretty close and contested, it has to be said. I think the one difference is that Imperial have been able to chain some rounds together, which is always going to be something you look towards from a CT side.
Hunting a little bit here. They're actually going to be up close. Boaster should find an easy frag. Will take down one. Will the trade come through? Smooya just goes for the wall bang, but no connection. It's there. Oh, they spot him out just in the nick of time, but it will go through anyway. Now, economy-wise, Imperial, as much as everyone is kind of sparse and money is here and there, they can actually buy up around this because they did have a lot of money on one player. You can buy the AWP, buy the M4, switch that around. Everyone's hunky-dory as the buys come back through. It's only Zelen that is struggling a little bit for utility. Other than that, a very efficient buy coming out. Always potential for them to bounce back into things here.
Through thick and thin. he said, as it is going to be a good one-for-one trade, but Zelen finds both towards long, clawing on forward as he sinks his teeth into his opposition. Falls back, smart from this. He knows there's pretty much no more presence there at all, so there really is no value in holding it. Instead, he's more than likely going to redirect some of his attention in towards Shaw. Make sure Toilets is nice and well kept. Smooya right through the tip of the box is able to find one on towards Connor, but problem with that pick is sure it takes one off the site, but it doesn't actually give them any entry power. They can't just go off the back of that. Instead, they still have to set themselves up as a 3, and you can see them kind of accepting that premise as they decide, you know what, perhaps the A site is our better target, as they begin to relocate.
Oh, Smoothie there with the frag back on towards Zelen, takes him down, as it is now left in a 3 versus 2. The T's look good. This is set up exactly how they want it. Prime time position for them to actually try and lock this one down, get themselves equalised in terms of the scoreline. Smoke goes down. Smoothie is just going to spot them out before it blooms, so he is aware of the position. The backstab from Reason as well, undetected, will hit them. Losing Jenko now as the tags go back through. Obviously, they have been able to soften up Jacob a little bit, but still, no more kills being transferred left. This 2 versus 2 could go either way at this point. Jacob, though, relies on him. Although he's low, he has the AWP, so can still do an awful lot of work with that weapon if he can find the angles to peek.
Jacob with the AWP will find himself that shot on towards more. Starts to open things up as Smooya now left in a tough situation. Time and time again, it's him to be here with the AWP. Misses another shot, though. Smooya just really struggling in these clutch situations. It really is just age-old repetitiveness that comes back to haunt them as Imperial get just another round off the back of that, and there's so much on their heads. In terms of being able to get that, it really helps them mentally.
Players go back through there. Obviously, the M4's out on Prowl. You see the AWP over on Jacob. Now, Jacob has been very effective with the AWP, so it's been good to see that. Obviously, we needed someone to step up massively with the AWP. Jacob had a good display. Even when we saw Crucial actually in the team earlier on yesterday, so it makes sense that he stuck with the weapon, gone back to his old grassroots there, and really been packing a punch. Fish123, same cannot be said for them. They've been struggling a few of these rounds, and it's not been looking too grandiose. Obviously now as well, no AWP on Smooya, but not only that, it's not even a rifle on Smooya. As Measy Tech 9 to play with, he is a very aggressive player with a weapon, can achieve quite a lot with it. If you flash him in, allow him to just go in and cause a stir, he will most likely do a fair bit of damage or find an opening frag for your side. So not going to be the worst case scenario. They're all pushing up close to smoke, flashbang through the smoke, then they're probably just going to burst their way in. It's a deeper smoke now, so they can encroach. Obviously, they are going to be aware that there's at least a couple of players there. Smooya's going to go for the early boost through, but is forced to fall back. Headshot on Smooya as well. Zelen, that is absolutely fabulous. No idea where Smooya was, but still finds the frag through the smoke. Now they push their way towards it.
Will get the return frag that was Roman. Will be able to punish Dylan, goes in for more as Keita supports on towards Connor bit by bit. Things get worse and worse by the second, but they haven't realised Jacob's angle, and they haven't realised he's transformed right now, so he goes on for just another pop-tastic play. 2 for him, looking for a third. Mole gonna be taken down by Reason, snuck away. It's just Jenko to come in from behind now, what will be known as the formal front. But a UMP to clutch out a 1 versus 3, a tough task, but one that he is going to grab with both hands as he upgrades from an AK-47. 20 seconds on the clock to play with. Still doesn't have control of the bomb, it's right there in front of him. He does push on to pick it on up, but so much time to play with. Should be able to get the plant here almost guaranteed. The push is going to come off the back of that, already firing the shot, just kind of trap him in, dives into the smoke. The Reason just going to let rip with the trigger, finds him. And that's just another big round for Imperial.
So they lock that one down. Obviously, they're giving them enough time to try and hunt for the AWP. Reason seems a little bit perplexed about where the weapon actually is, so they are just going to skip through. They don't save Jacob's AWP. Seems like the call was kind of confusing for them. They weren't able to find it. Obviously, they stick with those as well. We come into a pause here now as well. I imagine this is going to be a tactical pause for the side of Fish123, as it would make sense, right? Just take a little step back. Mole possibly interjecting with a couple of ideas that could spin the game around.
Well, if you whip up the scoreboard right now, you can see just how things have gone. For Imperial right now, they've been able to get so many back-to-back in a row. We did see Fish kind of chime in with a few here and there, but unfortunately for Fish, they weren't able to do what Imperial have always been able to do, which is link them together. And because of that, their economy has been just down in the gutter. Round after round, every time they lose, they're left with what they've got now, 3K. And 3K is never really enough to make it work. There's also going to come a point where they don't have enough money to be replenished. They're going to be stuck with these double ecos, and it really just leaves these rifles that Imperial have and the AWP play that they can bring. You know, you've got to give huge props to JK right now. I can't state that enough. Just how much he's been able to add to each and every push on towards A. He's been such an incremental anchor. So for Imperial, they are just running away with it. 7-4, sure, seems like a close scoreline, but for me, this match isn't as close as the scoreline says it is. Fish123 need to up their game off the back of this pause. They can still very much make this half better for them on their T side, but they've got to improve after this pause. If they don't, then you could very easily see Imperial really start to push on forward and get themselves their 10th, for example.
Just waiting now as we wait and see what they're actually going to go for as we work our way back in. Obviously, the things as well with Fish, taking that time out to actually discuss things, they need to actually switch things up though as well, because it looked like basically, okay, you win pistol, you work your way through, you try and lock down a couple of rounds, and there was good decision making. Then when we saw the first rifle round come out, they let it slip, and then from that point, it was kind of like, okay, this is fine. You know, they understand how to play against it now. Smooya needs to hit his shots, then it will be fine. But he's not being able to get those more aggressive openers, so they've had to switch up their style of play, which is what we saw last time on Overpass. It's the same sort of scenario, which is actually kind of, it's odd to see. Obviously, you expected that against FM, but with Imperial, though they've still got strategy, you think it'd still be slightly easier for Fish to actually like crush their way through them.
For sure, I do think that Fish, a lot of the rounds they've also lost have been so tough for them. They've been, you know, setting their fair part of clutches, for example. Do you think that perhaps they should be trying to get themselves in just better situations overall? And is that just a simple way of kind of, sure, you're tarnishing all the same brush almost, but do you think that's what it just comes down to? Fish need to get themselves in these better after round situations in terms of not being left in 1 versus 1s 24/7, not relying on these 2 versus 2s.
Well, even them, right? We've seen rounds where they lose because of silly things, like when they didn't clear truck, and Jacob was just able to get like a 2k or like a 3k with the orb, just because they didn't clear truck, and they just committed to a site plant, like because they were like, oh yeah, we cleared it.
They just assumed, all right, we got 2 frags, site must be clear. Well, no, the rotators come in. You got gamble on the fact that you pulled someone over towards B. So it's those clear misconceptions that cause problems, as now they're just going to try and gamble out on towards B. But this is a disaster, as they do just find themselves lambs to the slaughter. Imperial just look to really make so much money off of them in that round, farming them to pieces. Not quite SMG frag, sure, but on the basis they don't have to rebuy, that's where the money gets sourced from this time round. As now it is going to be an 8-4 score and a perfect half and half for Imperial. They will look to charge on forward, but this is where Fish have that chance to step up. This is what that pause is all about.
They got those AKs out now, obviously, as the buys start to come in. Let's see how this will unfold. Jenko going to be smoked off, forced to fall back, can't try and go for an aggressive connect play. Meanwhile, over towards the bomb site, seems like that is where the aggression is going to be poised towards. Will start to set themselves up. Reason is going to throw that smoke over towards short as well to try and force it back.
Smooya just trying to penetrate in towards connector. Problem here is that this CT side are feeling confident now. They've got so much information. They're getting the picks too. The repeat comes in. The flash is perfect. Smooya only able to find one before the trades are just so plentiful. They should get the wrap in from behind, but the bomb being dropped there means that they can just be played almost hook, line, and sinker. Just to allow even more damage to be done. Perfect frag running coming out from Connor. A second follow-up pick on towards Keister. This is looking like a masterclass from Imperial right now. Playing so strong. The aggression on towards Long as well really just helps support the idea that they had all the information.
That's crazy as well, that round. So unfortunate. Fish123 needed that. At this point as well, this is going to be 10-4 on the door. Like, already, Imperial will be able to get that 10 round on the board so simply. Fish123 are struggling at this point. That second half is going to be so important for them to try and bounce back, especially in the early round of the pistol. But let's see how this will actually unfold. Connor catches him off guard towards the bomb site as well. Boaster does damage. More frags coming out from Connor as he does get that kill back over on towards Keita. There's the headshot from Roman though. Connects that back. We'll do a little bit of damage. Mole attempting to scavenge something to try and aid him into this round as well. We'll pick up that Kalashnikov that had fallen. They can now relink together and make their approach towards the A bomb site. Zelen is waiting for the push to come through.
Problem is, Imperial, pickaxes in hand, and they are slapping away, just chinking away at the armor of Fish123, finding that link that you talk about, and then breaking it, crushing it to pieces. For Fish, how are they going to approach this? Roma has nothing, it's just a deagle. They do have that AK-47 on Mole. They've got to find themselves a window, something they can try and climb on through, get that space for a 1 versus 1. Roma given a shot with a deagle, but can't quite find it. It's always a tough one, but Jacob misses the counter shot with the orb. This does create a bit more of an opportunity for them to get closer and closer, but then the flash comes out. This means that Jacob is going to peek yet again. He lands this, and it's pretty much just fated to be all done and dusted, as Mole is going to find himself one in the meantime. Peeks out and does damage towards Jacob. But when that Molotov goes down, he's left with no time. 30 seconds left. The wrap from behind is coming in any second now. For Mole, it's just about getting as much done in as much little time as he can in terms of damage at this point.
Mole is going to slowly make his approach through. Knows they are close by. He's just sitting there, but the backstab from Boaster will be what is the final nail in the coffin. So they work their way through now. Obviously, Fish123 managed to play with once again, but even when they have been getting these buys out, they haven't been able to achieve anything. 6k on Jenko and Roma, so it seems like they're discussing, whether or not they wanted to go for that AWP drop on towards Smuya. They have gone for the AWP. Now we just need to see something come out of it.
Smoke going to act as ready to block for Jacob to beat down in towards mid, right through the edge of Fountain. Got 3 players there, doesn't quite go for the shot. Instead gets tacked on down through the edge of the smoke. Keita and Roma both doing the work. Have got a crossfire coming in towards Long as well if that does get pushed though, so that could be where the trade does come back in. But another flash, another peek, another 1-for-1. Not looking too good. Ellen still trying to sell this. They're facing together. It's the masterclass from the T side, turning it back on its head. 3 for 2 for them. Fish123 feeling a little bit better about themselves in this final round.
Boaster does damage though, transfers that over on towards Mole, is able to execute and Reason as well on towards Smuya now. As it is left just in a small 1 versus 2 situation. Roma here has to go so huge if he wants to do anything for his side, but it's going to be so hard. The crossfire there, easy kill, sure you get 1, but Boaster can trade it. Headshot goes through, takes down Roma. 11-4 is going to be the first half scoreline. Very, very dominant on the side of Imperial. They're going to come into this thick and fast. I mean, if they pick up the pistol here, that's 14 rounds on the board before Fish can even really try and react.
You also have to bear in mind that if you were to assume Stan or Staff, then this is Fish's map pick. And if that's the case, losing your map pick in this sort of fashion right now, it really tells a tale and sets a precedent for how that second could go. So Fish, now you got up your game. You need this pistol. You desperately need it. We've said that quite a lot today in terms of teams needing something. But never have we really meant it more than we have now. Because I think at 11-4, it's so much more harsher than, say, that 7-8 standpoint that we've found ourselves quite commonly sat at.
Smear on the aggression here. Fires off a pot shot, does nearly connect into the back of Zelen, but all he really does is give him a vague idea of where he's being attacked from. Now, pushing and falls towards the A bomb site, though. Mole is in the open. Jacob very easy as he picks that one up. More aggression comes through as well. Connects a follow-up headshot back on towards Keita now as they just keep this pain train steaming their way through. Roma is able to put up a roadblock, though. Slows them down for just a brief amount of time as they work their way back up towards the A-bomb site now, and they're going to try and just overwhelm them, flood in together, use their manpower. That's what they have to do. Obviously, it's a 3 versus 3 at this point with the players that are close on the site. There is one man coming in as a late round backstab, it seems. Actually, no, he's certainly against it. Just be playing over the toilets. They are fairly grouped up. Jenko will get the opening frag, though. Kicks things off as he takes down Connor, but Boaster and Zelen fire back. There's another frag going the way of Zelen as well. The super sub coming into effect. 2k for him, and Imperial get the opening pistol.
This is disastrous right now for Fish123. How do they come back from this? Well, there's only one clear-cut answer. Invest all your dollars, buy everything you can, as you need to find something to get yourself back on your feet. You've got to land right now. If they still find themselves flung up in the air just all over the place, this match could be over within just mere seconds. As at 12-4, Imperial are looking to run away with this one, charging into the future with a successful first map win. Just 5-7s and deagles to make the difference. Now, it's never been said as impossible to do it in this sort of circumstance, because you know full well that Imperial, they're not cemented either. They've got themselves some Khalils, Mac 10, 2 AK-47 short, but the utility is really where they lack too. So there's certainly opportunities if Fish123 can group up, almost harass players down, get that damage in, and trade proactively too. There's so many different factors here that mean Fish have a genuine shot at doing it. It just really revels on the idea of team play. If they screw up and try and play as individuals, try and take 1 versus 1s, they're going to lose them every day of the week.
Yeah, they can't try and go aggressive on their end, so basically they just have to hold those close angles. It's going to be so hard for them to do anything here. Obviously, the thing is with Imperial now, look at the map control they're taking over towards long. It's going to be very easy. You pick up on the close wall. When you peek out, obviously Jacob can basically be sent off, let him rip. He's going to tear his way through so easily and do an abundance of damage onto all of those players. The rest of the teammates there, obviously, as well. When he falls, you peek with, with the rifles, the range you have. Dispatch anyone on the site. It's easy. They burst through the smoke as well. Mole connects the headshot, though. Great spray control there as he just hammered down on that CZ. Mole has also done one better. Another frag comes up the CZ. Crazy display of prowess with that weapon.
It's all about the team play, though. It's still going to be tested. They have to hold these crossfires, help each other out. As Janko, what is that with the Deagle Reason? Start to kick into gear, however, as they will begin their push, but the Deagles are still tapping. Janko at it again for just another on towards Poster, leaving it all on Reason's shoulders. A 1 versus 3, where Kita will just chime in with a pistol of his own. A round for Fish123 to play with, the 5th on the board.
Wow, look at the damage done to the Imperial economy as well. Absolutely shattered. Whereas Fish, they're looking healthy right now. Buy comes back out. Everyone's looking golden as they have these weapons to play. No AWP, but you're not going to be that angry about not having an AWP when you're up against this weak and stunted Imperial. I mean, all they have is these Tech 9s and Deagles. They're going to need to basically just go for a burst-style play. They try and take that connected control early. One player situated over by mid, so he bursts his way out. Does keep them busy as they do group up. Is this actually going to be a fast play towards the A-bomb site, though? Take that toilets control, burst your way through, use that ridiculous amount of utility you do have over on Boaster to try and smoke off the site and push your way in.
What was that? Connor on towards Mole. A crispy little 1D for him. To them for Smooth. Not quite going to land the shot. Is going to be him just dipping back through the edge of that smoke, however. Imperial look to go together as a tight unit. It's the same storyline for them with their pistol. Smooth will sneak on through, gets himself one, but Jacob aggressive. This is smart from Imperial. Get themselves control, dumpster and bank. So when Smooth comes back on through, they can secure that trade.
Jacob goes down, Keita is on the retake, but Connor has the angle cover, so when Jenko peeks on his own, he will be instantly lobotomized, leaving things just over on Keita. A 1 versus 3 situation where he is just a matter of time before he gets executed. I mean, just trying to get out of there right now. Playing around the smoke, he will go for the peek up from the stairs. Spots out one man, but it is not meant to be. Reason takes him down, headshot comes through. And Imperial bounce back into the action. Now, sure, their economy took a hit when we saw that reset come out. But when you hit the flip side back over, it hits twice as hard. Obviously, Fish123, no real money at all. Look at that. The pistols come into effect. It's basically the same kind of buy. Very aggressive on the force, hoping you could pull something out of it. But it's just going to be so hard for them to do anything with these pistols on the CT side. They've done it once before, but they're basically not going to want to try and take that fight towards Mole again. And that was trying to make the same mistake twice. And Jenko, obviously, as well, with that Deagle, this time back on 5-7.
So tough. They were basically not a full buy there for Fish. So for them to lose that with 5 players all on flashes and such, basically a clone of what Imperial have brought to the table now, really just doesn't look too good for them at all. Now they try and return back the favour, however, with these CZs, 5-7s, and just the 1 Deagle of Smooya. As it is going to be a fairly crafty boost on towards long, one that they're going to use pretty much just to make sure they get an advantage and always spot them out first before they get fired upon. And that information will be something they try and play. They don't actually gain anything, however. They do creep further and further. They'll catch Keita by surprise if he chooses to peek this. They're just walking up, they're not making a step, and sending a core 3 of players like that without making a single sound really is going to sideline Fish. They have no idea what's coming. They flush themselves out though, and Keita going to find all 3 here. That is beautiful play from Jenko. Sneaks one towards Zelen, and a singular flash changing it all as Jacob almost assaults kicking into high gear right now as he's just so frustrated how that all went wrong off the back of one play. One piece of intuition on Fish123. The thought, Mole, throw a flash, peek out long, check it, and they get themselves 4 kills.
That was very nicely done. Obviously, scary because this is the thing, right? Fish not around, we're like, okay, yeah, they probably won't repeat history again. Probably not going to be able to pull that one out of the bag, but somehow they just do. And it's just better teamwork on those eco rounds. A whole lot better. I mean, we didn't really see that much of initiative when they were versing FM on their ecos, and they just kept throwing them away, and we were like, right, they're not really going to do anything on their eco, that round's going to be over. But this time around, it was a lot better. They're playing it a lot smarter, playing together like they needed to, and they start to bring it back a little here against Imperial. Obviously, Jacob will get away with that AK, so he will have at least 1 rifle going through into the next round, but their money isn't going to be too amazing. So, investment-wise, they either have to force up, buy around that, like have basically 2 AKs in play and the rest of them on Tech 9s, or just try and save. And it seems like, yeah, they are just going to go for the full investment. They get a UMP out. Reason can buy the AK if he wants to, which he will, and then just go for a little bit of utility.
Big round for Fish123. They want to link it together, but Connor again started off the exact same way he did before. A crispy little shot on towards Mole.
That's very effective as well.
It really is. I mean, what more could you ask for? They do get the trade, however, and I think that starts to really keep things contestable for Fish123. It didn't really create an entry or anything amongst the light, but Zelen over towards Monster certainly could. So we've got to be careful here. Does get taken advantage of Zelen. Under wraps. He's going to try and peek on around the place, still just trying to almost sell a fake at this point because that bomb is rotating over, but it's quite a while away. So they haven't committed at all. Zelen is just trying to do work. Site isn't clear by a long shot, needs to be very wary of that. As Roma and Jenko both now on the site. Jacob just holding tight along, waiting for a rotate that isn't quite happening.
Jacob takes down Keita though. Look at this play as well from Zelen coming out as he bursts his way through. We'll find a little frag there back on towards Roma. Both though the final one on towards Jenko. It's so back and forth with Imperial getting one round on the board, getting reset, getting another round on the board. Very odd. Scary thing is as well the knock-on factor once again rears its head. You can see the damage that has been done, the buffer that's been stripped away to reveal this shook by over on the side of Fish123. 2 UMPs in play, the rest of them just on pistols. Not amazing, not really what you would want coming into this round, but let's see what they can achieve with it anyway.
Interesting to see if Jacob can kickstart that domino effect that did in that previous round, because you can see him holding an angle, waiting for that long push. But decides just out the blue, actually hold on a second, perhaps I'll just swindle back around and just check connector for a split second. And that's where it all started. All of the frags started rolling in off the back of that small 2-second window. If they get that sort of push going again, that sort of aggressiveness, it could just mean they can link it together. But we said that in the last round, it completely got turned on its head. But for now, this 1-4 affair favors Imperial as Jacob does start off strong, takes down Keita. Weaponry starting to be employed for Fish123 as they do still have those 2 UMPs in play. Curious to see if the pistols can achieve too much as well, but Mole looking like he's going to be faced by Jacob again. Does sneak one in with the CZ, in fact, and can get an upgrade off the back of that. And bear in mind, Fish, they all have Kevlar, so if they pick up these rifles, that's a huge upgrade.
Obviously now, as we come back into this 4-on-4, as Mole takes his aggression down towards the bomb site, trying to reposition. Obviously, he is very critical here. If they want to go for the rotate over, if they try and take their way through connected to be a little bit more quicker on things, Mole will be the one to get the information, hopefully find a couple of frags as well. He needs to come in for a late round backstab as well if they go for this burst on towards the B-bomb site. It relies quite heavily on him to try and backstab. Zelen will get the opening frag. Mole now needs to put his foot down on the pedal, peeks through. Good stuff as he gets the opening frag. Jenko, though, does one better. 2 kills going his way. Absolutely huge stuff. Leaving it all on Boaster. He's a very effective player, but caught with his pants down as the peak comes through. That's not going to help him as he needs to sprint his way in, grab the bomb, and do so much more. Smokes there as well. 10 seconds left at this point as he needs to try and react quickly. One headshot goes his way, nearly the second, but Smuya, Deagle up close and personal, absolutely giving it, finds the kill. Another round will be going the way of Fish. You win one, you lose one.
Problem here, though, is if we keep seeing this take place, not to state the obvious, but only one team can win. And it's Imperial every time.
It's true. They're going to work their way through, obviously, because they do lose that second round, but they're always winning it afterwards. It's so weird they can't link them together, but they're always getting another round back on the board. And obviously, they're going to get that 16 rounds on the board quicker than Fish123 will.
Seems to be a lot of aggression coming into one pinpoint part of the map. Connector. Connor going to be the man to lead that group. Let's begin to deploy some orders as well to make that peak. That should net them the idea of Fish's strategy, really. I think once you realise that Fish are playing passive in toilets, you always know the idea that someone's going to be towards long, right? So once they realise that, Jacob, he heads back. This is just scripted at this point. He's going to take the fight, but he doesn't realise how close Smuya is. And that's what throws him to the Smuya can do so much more. Problem is, Boaster replenishes the angle that Jacob couldn't, gets the trade.
Zelen now will find the headshot back over on towards Keita. Jenko double down. He eliminates Connor and Reason now. Zelen hungry for a couple more frags as he just roams his way around. Roma will unfortunately hit the deck. Imperial looking like they're going to be able to repeat history, get themselves back into that scenario that we always see happening. They lose a round, but they instantly win on the following. They have the backstab of Zelen. He can come in the rear, trying to grab that bomb as well. But Jenko is the key player. If they can eliminate Jenko, it is very, very achievable. If Jenko kills one of them, that's when things start to get awkward. They'll be left in a deficit in terms of manpower and positioning. Zelen also needs to try and get over there to help out Boaster. Boaster peeks wide, rattles down on the AK, but can't find the opening frag as well. Caught out in the open, it'll be so easy to execute him. Look how low he is now as well. 8 seconds to play. They have to do it now, but they've got to find the frags. Grab the bomb, tries to back off, but the round is lost.
All but done. They push on forward. Jenko will get the picks. Fish123, they get themselves their 8th round. Interesting kind of little snippet, though, is that sure, Fish got the round, but not to knock on them off the back of that. But you can see their communication isn't actually perfect at all. because Jenko checked behind him, even though he knew Mole was on the flank and Mole was covering off that angle, and actually just basically ended up peeking right on towards the head of his teammate. So interesting to see just how the communication is, and whether that is just a little bit of trust, or whether it was called at all, but something to keep an eye on perhaps, as this game continues to develop. Fish123, of course, have a long way to go, and communication is going to be a big part of that, if they can make it back. Of course, Imperial looking for just 2 rounds. This one, though, finally, the 1-4 battle will end. They're just sitting there with books. They're accepting their fate. They know they've got rounds to play with after all, bear in mind.
Mole takes down Reason. Now as they are left in this 3 versus 5. Smooya hammers down on the trigger. We'll find the 1 kill back on towards Jacob. Obviously, just these pistols left standing at this point, though. The bomb down such an awkward location as well. Mole, they basically should just peek into him, and he should dispatch them one by one, as they can't really work together efficiently on this. It's going to be so hard. Take the control over by Toilets, but he will eventually go down, falling it all on Connor. Execution as well. Jenko will be the one to pull the trigger, though. Imperial, not great for him in that round, but obviously the money is back. Cash factor is not going to be an issue anymore, but they need to slay with these AKs. It's not been a good day for them so far.
Going to be a struggle. Still, the path is right in front of them. No need for direction. They know what they've got to do. Doesn't matter whether they can pull through on the other side or not, as it is going to be them starting to take the fight in towards Connector. Flash is going to be thrown, but not a peek. Reason actually going to be given a bit more control than he originally expected. Passive play starting to take hold, and a very readable play from the CT side, bear in mind. They've got 2 players focusing towards Toilets. They don't want to give that away too much, especially off the back of that boost, as when they do, then we can expect Imperial start to prod towards long.
Mole now, elevated angle being utilised from him as he is up high, peering over the top, seeing what will come his way as he just holds out for the right moment. We'll be backing off though. They are going to retreat back towards the A-bomb site now. Obviously the T's. A little bit of map control taken over towards Party, but other than that, nothing really to write home about. Obviously they do have the late round lurk and Zelen over towards B-bomb site, so if anyone goes for a cheeky information play, he will decapitate them and then also spot anyone that's going to go for a monster play. So heavy reliant on him to get information as they slowly tiptoe their way up, trying to take that toilet control to hit the A site. They haven't really found too much success, though, in the couple of last few rounds towards A, as Mole and co have been doing a great job of just backing them off instantly.
A few pot shots to be taken here and there. Zelen trying to force something in towards his B site, but he's just a distraction right now, just trying to amplify everything he can on towards B, while the rest of the team begin to execute out on towards A. Kita push back in towards the corner. Mole going to push out forward in response to that. Supposed begins to step up. Supposed finds the first. Smooya going to respond instantaneously with the AWP, but it's a bit of a struggle really, because it's 1 for 1, and the T-side can now just back off. They're happy. They're happy with the situation. Fish, they don't want them to be content right now. They need to push back onto the site and make this retake happen thick and fast.
Yeah, and they're not going to clear their angles as well. Jacob with the peek, such a commonly played angle these days. Peeks out. They weren't aware of it. Easy kills come through. Luckily, they do shut down Reason, but Connor with a trade back, leaving Jenko left for 1 versus 2. Going to be so awkward. Jenko probably is the man you want alive in these sort of scenarios. You will find 1 frag, but Zelen now on the wide face should be able to just dispatch him as he tries to go for the bomb. Defuse will do so. Match point has been secured by Imperial. Fish123 as well. Cash-wise, this is going to be their last-ditch attempt. They have to pump everything into it. Double AWP setup comes out. 1 on Mole, 1 on Smooya. And this means Mole will still play the standardized sort of Smooya angles. He'll take that aggression towards long, whereas Smooya can now either take the fight towards B or an aggressive, very vintage connector push.
15-9. A big peak to be made. Smooya going to do just that. Peeks out. Doesn't quite find it. UMP starting to almost belittle him as it tags a little bit away. Stella over towards Monster. Pretty standard setup from Imperial. Pretty much very samey almost, for lack of better description. As it is just patience right now to be employed by Imperial. Don't want to run the clock down, but at the same time, don't want to go too quickly on towards Fish123. Bear in mind, they know that Fish123 aren't going to be on too much of a ship-shaped buy. They know there's going to be a weak link somewhere. They want to find that. What they won't not even know is the double up setup. But Smooya going to fire off a shot towards long will give away at least that singler in play. Curious to see if they'll kind of react to where Mole is and what to do off the back of that. Very much a tactical game right now more than aim, at least in this round. Connor going to face out. This Galil Walking right into the crosshair of Jenko. Now the key here is that he's got support. Unfortunately, that support doesn't do anything at all. Kita just idling on short, banking on the idea that they just don't check him, which they won't, but he only gets one, and that's just useless right now. Needs to do a little bit more, gets a second. Still traded. At this point, a double upset on a retake on B. This is hard.
Smooth finds the frag on towards Connor though. There's another one going the way of Mole. The double setup is going large right now. Zelen has to go so huge though if he wants to try and counter this and shut them down. Obviously right now he is in a favourable situation as to push those guys to come in. If he can get the headshot back on towards Smoy huge. All he has to do now is stay alive. Mole will tap the bomb, draw him out, but he finds it. 16-9 is going to be the scoreline. Zelen picks it up. That is going to be the first map going the way of Imperial. They close out the first one. Overpass, the map that was, you'd imagine, Fish123's pick, as it's their home turf. They had a very good chance against their FM earlier today, but was not meant to be. Imperial lock it down. That's crazy as well, seeing as how the last time these two teams matched up, when we saw it yesterday, when Crucial was there instead of Zelen, Imperial still couldn't even beat Fish. Now,
sure.
they get it on the board.